What's up, Facebook? Ty Crandall with Credit Suite here, and today we're diving in and talking about business credit. So this was actually the topic of my very first live stream a couple years ago, and a lot of people have been asking more questions about the business credit building process. So today we're going to dive in, we're going to decode this, we're going to start by looking at the benefits of building business credit, things business credit can do for you that you probably don't know business credit could do for you. And then we're actually going to map out the exact steps to build business credit. We're going to look at real approvals. We're going to look at real reports. We're going to look at this entire process so you can see exactly how this works and you can decode it. So whether you haven't yet started building your business credit, don't even know what business credit is, or you're already somewhere in the process of building business credit, what we're going to talk about today is going to help you through this process. So Jerome, welcome, man. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for blowing up our Facebook group too. I'm glad to see you engaging so well there. Okay, so let's take a look. So everything business credit today. Let's start with the benefits. So if you're not familiar with business credit, what we're ultimately talking about here is basically credit for your business. Credit that's linked to the business EIN, not linked to the personal social security number. I want to bold business credit. Awesome. Edward, let us know what we can do to help. So business credit, there's a lot of reasons you're probably going to want to build business credit. One of the reasons is because you can get approved regardless of personal credit quality. So with business credit, what's happening here is we're building credit for an EIN that's not linked to an SSN. So because it's credit that's linked to the EIN, when we build a credit profile for this, then what happens is credit issuers don't need to use your personal credit report to qualify. They're using the EIN credit to qualify you for instead. Tamika, welcome. Thanks for coming in. So this is why, and it's always, you should always be skeptical when anybody says you can get anything regardless of personal credit. But the reason it works for business credit is because we're establishing credit for an EIN. Once it's established, credit issuers can look at this credit report instead of personal credit report, and they approve you based on this. That's how it's possible to get approved regardless of personal credit quality, because there's not even a credit check. Now, what I like about it is that business credit can be built very quickly. What I'm going to map out here for you today, the very first credit you start to get, you can get nearly immediately. If you follow these steps today, you can start to get approved for credit you can use to actually grow your business. That also helps build your business credit report. What's your guidance through the process? No problem. Edward, if you're looking to get in touch with us to help you through the process, then just give us a ring. 877-600-2487, 877-600-2487. We'll help you get a free copy of your business credit report. We can even help you through the process of building your business credit. So, because it's not attached to personal credit, there's also no personal guarantee required. There's no personal liability. So all the credit we're going to talk about today, you're getting approved regardless of a credit check, regardless of personal credit liability. You're not signing as a signer on the accounts. So you're getting credit without the personal guarantee. So you can get this in any situation. You can get approved even as a startup. So when we talk about getting loans, to get any kind of loan, you must meet one of three criteria. You either need consistent cash flow, good credit, or collateral. You have to meet one or all of these to get approved for any kind of bank loan. SBA requires all three. Other kind of alternative lending requires one of the three. Business credit's the only way you can get approved regardless of cash flow, credit, or collateral, which means even as a startup, you're able to get it. Now, it also doubles your borrowing ability, because what's happening here is, let me go over here. What we're doing is building a credit report for your business and your EIN that's separate from your personal credit. So now you have your personal credit that you're used to doing what you do with, buying homes and cars and getting credit cards. Now you have a business credit report where you're doing exactly the same thing. As a matter of fact, here's kind of a look at some approvals so you can see what happens. So basically all these, the difference is that this is credit that you're getting under your EIN. So none of this type of credit, $100,000 PNC credit lines and $50,000 at Flying J and $50,000 at PNC and Dell accounts for $40,000. None of this credit requires a guarantee or a personal credit check. This is all under your EIN credit report. So it gives you double the borrowing ability, because you can go and get a credit account with Sears, for example, on the personal side. You can also do exactly the same thing with business credit on the business side as well. So it also increases the value of your business. Look, any business that has access to large amounts of credit is obviously worth more than one that's not. And even if you're not selling your business, it gives you a huge competitive advantage because, again, those kind of people, anybody that has access to capital in an industry where somebody else doesn't, gives you a huge advantage. So if you're investing in real estate, you have an endless amount of capital, then it gives you a huge advantage over real estate investors that don't. LaJonda, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Marquise, awesome. Thanks for that. Edward, awesome. I hope you're glad you're enjoying it. Accounts report to the business credit reporting agencies, not the personal credit reporting agencies. This is how business credit works. So this is a big deal, and I'll show you why. Because when we look at consumer credit, a third of your consumer credit profile is based on what's called utilization. What percentage, for example, of your revolving credit card accounts are you using? So let's just take a simple example here. If we look at let's look at Apple. If you have $12,500 at Apple on a credit card, if you start utilizing this and it reports on your consumer credit report, you really lower your consumer score because a third of your consumer score is based on utilization. But this approval won't adversely affect it. You could max this count out and it won't adversely affect your consumer credit because it reports on your business credit reports. So since it doesn't even report on your consumer credit reports, you can max out the utilization of any account and it won't adversely affect your consumer credit score. As a matter of fact, since business credit scores are primarily based on how you pay, you can max out your business credit accounts and not even adversely affect your business scores, including your Paydex and your Equifax credit score as well. Charles got approved for Sam's Club for 14 grand, man. No personal guarantee. Congratulations. That's what I love to hear. And just so you know, guys, these are where we get these approvals from. All these approvals are people that come on our live streams. We often verify them on their credit report. And then we keep track of the kind of approvals that everybody's getting so everybody can see what's possible. And I don't even think I have Sam's up here, but I will add them here for Sam's 14K for my whiteboard artist to get to that later. Okay, so and beyond that, there's also no inquiries on your consumer credit report either. So when we look again at consumer credit scores, new credit or inquiries account for 10% of your score, but you're using your business credit to qualify for all this credit. So because of that, there's no inquiries on your consumer credit report. So since the accounts don't report on your consumer credit report, you keep your utilization intact. Since there's no inquiries on your consumer credit report, you're saving 10% of your score there. So business credit helps that 40% of your consumer score because you leave consumer credit alone and use your business credit to obtain credit to fund your business. Guys, look, this is what business credit exists. This is why it exists. Business credit exists for you to fund your business using the business itself to do so. Consumer credit was never designed to fund a business. This is where so many people screw up. They start using personal credit cards to fund the business. The problem with that is that then they max out their utilization, they tank their consumer scores, then they lose the ability to get all kinds of business credit lines that are based on consumer credit because their scores are too low, their utilization is too high. Don't make that mistake. Use business credit to be able to fund your business. Leave your consumer credit alone. And then that way, when you need to get credit lines up to 150 grand in loans, you can do so because your consumer credit's intact because you've used business credit to obtain high limit accounts instead of relying on your consumer credit to do so. So again, no inquiries on the credit report, no reporting of these accounts on the consumer credit report, and the limits are very, very, very high. Okay, per SBA, they're 10 to 100 times higher than what you're going to find with commercial credit. Daryl, thanks for coming in. So when we look at these approvals, guys, you've probably never seen a $40,000 Dell account on the consumer side. Why would you? You're never going to need $40,000 worth of computers at Dell. But a business will, which is why these limits are so high, $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 at places like Best Buy and Ford, and $100,000 PNC credit lines, $75,000 individual accounts. They're so high because businesses have a greater appetite for credit than consumers do. So this means you start getting limits of $500 to $2,500 very quick, immediately. You start getting $5,000 to $10,000 approvals probably within about 60 days. Within 6 months, you're all the way up to $30,000, $40,000 approvals, which seem high to us on the consumer side, but it makes a bunch of sense because you could easily spend 40 grand at Best Buy when it comes to getting computers and things that you may need equipment-wise for your actual office. And Nicely says, hey, I requested for someone to call me last week, especially going on. Just let us know. We were pretty busy, and usually if you ever send us an email or give us a call, you will hear back. But if you haven't, then just give us a call. 877-600-2487, 877-600-2487, and we'll help you with that. If you did try to get in touch with us last week, we will even make that work for you. So that being said, anybody else that has any questions too on that or the special, feel free to give us a ring. 877-600-2487. Okay, no cash flow required. So you can get this even as a startup business. Again, you don't need to verify cash flow per bank statements or tax returns. It's no doc financing. So a lot of benefits, and you become visibly reputable. So the benefit of business credit building, guys, is that it helps make you more lendable. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's actual commercial credit reports. And you can see here that here's a company that has absolutely no credit whatsoever. I'm going to scroll down. This is the bottom of the credit report. I can't scroll any further. And you'll see that there's no trade lines. It's all zeros for accounts that are here. But they're still given a failing score. So if you went into your bank, even with no business credit, you got a failing score. You're only being recommended for $1,000. And here's the worst part. The reporting agencies say that you are an extremely high risk, about as high of a risk you can get, of filing bankruptcy. That's what financial stability means, that you're about to file bankruptcy. And here's the crazy part. It's just because this person lacks trade lines. So even with no credit, as you see here, there's no credit on the credit report, you can still have this failing score. So think about it. If you go to try to get a business credit card or loan, you have a 28 out of 100 score. So this is very high risk. You're only being recommended for $1,000, and the reporting agencies say that you're this high of a risk of filing bankruptcy. What do you think your chances are of getting loans and credit lines? Probably not good. But check this out. Here's the exact opposite. The limit, the recommendation for credit starts to get higher. The score is about as high as you can get, a 96 out of 100. We see that that risk has really, really changed. As a matter of fact, their main credit score is very low risk. And here's what's insane about this. This person only has one account reporting. I'm at the bottom of the report again. And you can see there's only one account. This is probably a Uline account, which I'll show you how to get. So even one account using less than $100 has brought this person from a failing score to a good score. Here, you can even see exactly what it looked like. They also had a 28 score. They got the one account, and now they're all the way up into the 90s. How is this possible? It's possible because business credit scores are based on how you pay. So once you follow the steps I'm going to map out today and you get credit that reports to the reporting agencies and you pay it as agreed, even as you saw, that one account took somebody from failing score or no score to very high score, and that very high score is then used to start qualifying for credit. But it's also used by all kinds of lenders that will actually qualify you for loans. So what happens is your business credit, just by establishing it, you become visibly reputable to lenders, which helps make it easier to get loans. Now listen, you are not going to get loans just based on business credit quality, but business credit quality is a big factor in getting loans because, again, you are visually reputable. So there are a lot of benefits here of building business credit. It's fast. Your personal credit doesn't matter. You can get it as a startup. It doubles your borrowing ability. It gives you competitive advantage, increases the value of your business. You don't need cash flow, credit, or collateral for approval. There's no inquiries on your personal credit report. And again, it helps get you loans. So again, I'm going to walk through the steps here. And if you'd also like, we also do text training tips that are only available through text if you text the word tips to that number. So just if this all makes sense, if you like what we're talking about, text the word tips to 855-982-1820 and you'll get, we only send a text once a week.
a text training tip. It's about 2 to 5 minutes, and we only deliver those through text. Also, I'm going to walk you through the steps. If you want to follow along, go to creditsuite.com/Facebook, and this gives you access to our free 4-step guide to build business credit. So far, we have over 100,000 people have downloaded and used this guide, so there's a guide to follow along. Now, let's jump in. We've talked a lot about why it makes sense. We've looked at real approvals. We looked at commercial credit reports. How do you do this? Well, step 1, you set up your business credibly. So think of it like this. When you start to apply for initial creditors or credit issuers here, which we will, they don't have anything to go off of. We're not giving them personal credit. We're not letting them pull our personal credit report. So all they have to go off of is what we put on the application. So the application information becomes extremely important. So 1, make sure your business name doesn't reflect a high-risk industry if you can. So for example, real estate, financial services, these type of industries are higher risk. The name indicating you're in a higher risk industry could throw up a red flag, so try to avoid that if you can. Set up an entity. You want to try to choose an LLC or a corporation, and there's a reason for this. If you're a partnership or sole proprietorship, you are the business, so you're liable for what happens in the business. LLC or corporation, you and the business are separate. You can separate the liability. So as we start to get credit with all these sources, then you can really separate your liability. You're not giving a personal guarantee here, and they really can't sue the business because you and the business are separate from each other. So they can only come after the business's assets, not your actual personal assets. So you want to get your EIN. Yes, it's free. A lot of services act like they're the IRS and they're not and try to charge you. Go to irs.gov and you can get it for free, but only get it from irs.gov, or you'll go through the whole process and they'll try to charge you at the end. Remember, you never need to pay for that EIN. Now, and you also need to do this because as you're a sole proprietor, you don't even need an EIN, but you have to have an EIN because business credit, all the credit we're going to build here, is built under this EIN. It's not built under D&B's DUNS number like a lot of people think. It's built under your EIN. So you can't build business credit if you don't have an EIN. You have to have that EIN. Christine, welcome. Thanks for coming in. What's the difference between an LLC and an LLP? Well, really, it has to do with the way that liability is, and I'm not that familiar with LLPs, to be honest with you. I rarely am exposed to them. So what I'll do is I have your email. Let me get back to you on that question because I don't want to give you an answer I'm not 100% certain on, and I don't know enough about LLPs to make sure that I'm going to give you a concrete answer. So let me get back to you on that, Christine. Edward, I want to take the Elite Barber's Loft to a strong next level with your help. Good. Well, we're going to walk through and teach you exactly how to do that. So once you've done that, once you've set up your EIN, the next thing you want to do is you want to come in and get a domain set up and an email address. It needs to be professional. Don't use Gmail. Don't use AOL. Don't use anything other than a professional domain. You can get a domain from GoDaddy for about 12 bucks. Okay, then you can put a website on it. If you don't have a lot of money, go to a place like templatemonster.com. Get a template for 60 bucks. Go to upwork.com, pay somebody a little money to put it up, and for less than 200 bucks, you can get a website. And you need an email that's reflective of your website. So mine is info@creditsuite.com. You want it to basically be your name, whatever, at yourdomain.com. Don't use AOL or Gmail. These things can really get you denied. So keep in mind that just leaving this field blank, saying that you don't have a website or don't have a professional email, that alone can make you look unestablished and get you denied. If you need business licenses, set them up. You should have a physical business address. If you don't have a physical business address, if you work from home, get a virtual address. You can go to creditsuite.com/virtual to get a virtual address. A virtual address is where you rent an address to get mail out. You could still use a real, what looks like a real physical address, because it is, in a high-rise office building in Tampa, Florida, for example, but all you're doing is renting and getting your mail there. They'll even scan your mail and send it to you when it comes in. So it gives you the perception of being a really highly credible, reputable business in a big office building when you're really just actually working from home. So this is a great alternative. Your third and final option here is to use a home address. Some sources will not approve you with the home address. Okay, some will. So for example, Staples will approve you with the home address. Walmart will not. Walmart will require you have a physical business address. So some sources will approve you with the home address, some won't. So the order to do this is physical address, best choice, virtual address, second best choice, home address, third choice. Never use P.O. Box. Never use UPS. Those are all stored in a database that lenders and credit issuers check, and that will automatically get you denied. So make sure you use physical address, virtual address, home address at last resort. And physical address and virtual address will get you approved with every source. Home address will limit the sources, like, for example, Walmart will not approve you. Let me see here, okay? What's the fastest you can get business credit? I'll talk about that block runners in a minute. When I move to step 3 here, I'll talk to you about it. But you're able to get this kind of credit immediately. Once it reports within 60 days, 30 to 60 days, you can get most other kind of credit. So within 60 days, you can get most kind of credit. Within 6 months, you can get to the end of the process. And we'll talk about Uline and Quill in a minute. Just renewed our email for $1.99 a month for 12 months. That's a good deal, Christine. Okay, so here we go. So now we've got that. We also need to make sure that we get a phone number set up, that it's toll free, and we need to get it listed with 411. Guys, this is very, very important. A lot of initial starter vendors will approve you if you only have an EIN and only have a 411 listing. If you're not listed with 411, you can't go to 411 to list your own number. That's why lenders and credit issuers look at it, because you can't fake it. You can go to a service like List Yourself and get listed with 411. Their better service is about $30 a month. That's what we pay for our clients. So it's a great way to go. And you might want to set up a fax number too. Any applications that ask for a fax, you want to include a fax. Now, I know we all don't use fax much, but remember the point here. The purpose is that we are trying to become visibly reputable. We want to look credible. And all these things combined, a website, a business email address, your phone number listed with 411, phone number, a toll-free phone number, a fax number. These all are what large, credible, reputable businesses have. Remember, as we start building business credit, they don't know about your size. So let's fake it till we make it, right? All these things are what their computers are looking for to establish if you're credible or not. If you meet the requirements, then their automated systems see you as credible and issue approvals. If you don't meet these requirements, that's where you get that dreaded message that you'll hear by mail in 7 to 10 days, and it's always a denial. Know what these computers are looking for. If you know what these computers are looking for, you can meet the requirements before you apply. That way, as we move on to step 3, we get approvals and not denial. So how do we do it? Again, we set up the LLC or corporation, name that reflects that we're not in a high-risk industry. We got the EIN from the IRS for free. We set up a professional website and email address. We got any necessary licenses. We got a physical address, virtual address, or home address at last resort. We got a phone number, a toll-free number. We listed a 411. We got a fax number. And make sure all of this information is congruent online. The business credit reporting agencies are not like the consumer reporting agencies. These guys get data from the Yellow Pages. They get data from Yelp. So what happens is one of the biggest reasons people are denied is because the information isn't congruent online. You have to make sure that your name and your phone number and your address is all congruent. We just saw a denial the other day from Amazon because the phone number on the application wasn't the same as what Amazon pulled online. Their computers cross-check this data against what's on your application, and if it's not the same, they don't recognize that the business applying is the same as what they find online, and that's what gets you denied. Corporations and LLCs are established by each state. LLC are create wherever. Corporations are extremely old. With an LLC, you are to state how you'll be taxed SP. There we go. So I think that's more information to help you because I'm not really familiar with the LLP, but I will get back to you on that as well. I only have 2 vendor accounts. We'll talk about more. How long will it take if you purchase an aged 10-year shelf corporation? Guys, let me give you a little piece of advice.
Never buy a shelf corp. don't do it at all, ever. And I'll tell you why. First, there's no benefit. What I'm going to show you today, there's no seasoning requirements. If you open a business tomorrow, you're still able to get business credit. Shelf corporations do not help you build business credit at all. But here's the real problem. When D&B, Experian, and Equifax figure out that you're using a shelf corp, as they often do, they red flag and shut down your credit profiles. Again, we are not used to this in the consumer world. The consumer bureaus can't just shut down your credit profile. In the business world, they can and they do. We have all kinds of testimonials from clients where this exact same thing happened. Never buy trade lines. Never buy a shelf corp. It's just going to get you in trouble down the road. What I'm going to show you today, you don't need a shelf corp, and you also do not need to have any trade lines that you're purchasing to get approved for. Okay, so back
to flash. All right, so now we've set up our business credibly. Step one. Let's move to step two. What we're going to do is we're going to get set up with the reporting agencies, and to do so, we're going to do a free search at this website, creditsuite.com/reports. Don't get me wrong. You can go to each one of these reporting agencies and do a free search there directly. I just gave you short links at creditsuite.com/reports to pull each one of your actual business credit reports. And Sandra, my name is Ty Crandall. Okay, so let me show you why this is important. We already looked at this. Remember, guys, you can have a failing business credit score. You can be looked at on the verge of filing bankruptcy, even when you have absolutely no credit established. So if you go to creditsuite.com/reports, you're able to do a free search, and the free search will show you if a business record is established or not. I will show you what this looks like. I'll pull up one of the reporting agencies right now, and we will go through and I will show you. So what happens is either something is going to pull up for your business or something is not going to pull up for your business. Okay, so here we go. So I'm at creditsuite.com/reports. I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to do a free search here with Experian. And when I do this, click this button, it's going to ask me for my company name. So I'm going to go ahead and type it in, Credit Suite. And then what it's going to ask me for is my state. Now, what's interesting, guys, is just so you know, anybody who wants to can pull your business credit report. Here's what's crazy. All they need is these two things, your business name and the state your business is in. And also keep in mind, I can pull credit report and data from any other company I want. They even give me an option. And in this case, I'm going to say my company. And one of two things is going to happen. One of three things. Either nothing is going to pull up, they have no record, or something will. And either something shows that I have trade lines or something shows that I don't have trade lines. You can see here a result pulled up, I have trade lines. What you're most concerned about is your information pulls up and there's no trade line button. If your information is with Experian and you don't have trades, you probably have this kind of credit report that shows a failing score, a near bankruptcy risk factor, even when you have no credit. Here's why. If the reporting agencies know you exist and know your SIC code, which they get from Secretary of State, they will pull this up. The reason this person was given a score is because they know the SIC of the business. What happens is they call this factual data. So once they have and know your business exists, boom, name, address, I know your SITs from Secretary of State, they populate a report, they instantly give you a 27 to 29 score, and then you will have absolutely no trade lines. But again, the good news is in the next step, even one trade line can change that around. Christine says, I almost got shut down because the company tried to get us to buy trades. And guys, Christine, this just happened. I looked at her D&B report. When you talk about buying trades and using shelf corps, what happened with Christine was that even a company that sells trades just pulled her business credit report, and just them pulling a report got it flagged. And it was pretty astonishing to see. As a matter of fact, if you're part of our Get Business Credit group, we actually just reviewed that not so long ago. So, business credit reports. Let's get set up. Let's do a free search with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. Let's also get our free DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet. Yes, it's free. You can go to creditsuite.com/DUNS, no dashes in between, and get a free DUNS number. Now, when you do this, D&B will call you. They will try to sell you a package for $800 to $2,000 called Credit Builder. They will tell you you need it. to expedite your DUNS, which you can now do upon checkout, spend $50 in expedite, and to activate your credit reports. Don't pay them a dime unless you want to. You don't need to. Okay, the next step I'm going to show you will activate your credit reports with all 3 reporting agencies without paying them a dime. So do your free search to see if they know you exist. Get your free DUNS number at creditsuite.com/DUNS. That's the first step. A lot of these accounts, as you start to get, will want to see a DUNS number, so get it. Some won't, but some will. It's just like using a home address. Some sources will deny you, like Walmart, because you have a home address. Other sources like Staples won't. Same with DUNS. Some sources will require a DUNS before you even apply. Some won't. Get it early on in the process. That's why it's right here under step 2. So step 1, we set up the business credibly. Step 2, we did a search at creditsuite.com/reports to see if any of these guys know we exist now. And that search rendered a result kind of like this. Whether something shows up, it doesn't show up, it does, or it has trades. That's what we're looking for. If something shows up and you do have trades, get your report to see what the trades are if you don't know. And if it doesn't show trades, get your report to make sure you don't have this kind of failing score just because you have no credit. And then we're also getting the DUNS number for free at creditsuite.com/DUNS. You could just search free DUNS number and get it as well. I just created a shortcut link for you there. Next, let's start getting some credit. There's 2 ways to do it. This way has no credit check, no credit requirements. And what this is we're going to start getting accounts that report to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. That's requirement 1. They have to report to one of these business credit reporting agencies. That's requirement 1. We need them to get credit that reports. Requirement 2 is that we need to be able to get the credit even as a startup without providing our social, all that. Now to do that, we're going to use what's called trade credit, also sometimes referred to as vendor accounts. Now trade credit is available through terms like Net 10, Net 15, or Net 30, okay? And somebody says, is a UPS address considered virtual? No. When it comes to addresses, you can never use UPS. You can never use P.O. Box. UPS and P.O. boxes are stored in a database that lenders and credit issuers will look at, and if your address is in that database, you will get denied. So it is not considered a virtual address. It is something separate. If you go to creditsuite.com/virtual, you'll see a virtual address. It's like Alliance. It's like Regis. Never use P.O. Box or UPS address. The 2 are completely separate. So we're going to start building business credit here using trade credit. These are vendors that will give us credit on terms like Net 30, which means we have 30 days to pay back what we borrow, unlike a revolving account. So some of the most popular ones are Uline, Quill, and Grainger. Uline sells shipping supplies. Quill sells over 1 million products, including office supplies. Grainger sells outdoor supplies. Wells Fargo has a secured credit card, which does have a credit check, whereas these kind of vendors don't have any kind of credit check to get approved. Here, I'll show you what this process looks like. So if we go to Quill.com, and I'm going to see if I can show you this. I might not be able to, but I'm going to try here. Quill.com. Okay, so if we go to Quill.com, we can see they have over $1 million products. I think it says something right here, over 1 million products, okay? So in this case, let's go ahead and add some Bounty paper towels. And I'm going to go ahead and add these to my cart, okay? So let me see here, add to cart. Now, with some of them like Quill, you want to spend actually $50 or more. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 3 quantity in. You need to spend $50. It's not always the same with all of them, but Uline and Quill want you to spend about $50. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to check out my cart. Now, first step, did I spend over $50 here? I did. Let me reduce this to 1 and see if I can get that to actually come in. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure you spend over $50. Now, when you go to proceed to checkout here, what's going to happen is they're going to give me payment details. They won't let me click. They used to. Here under this tab, payment details, they will give you an option of getting credit. They will give you an option of not entering any credit card number, and you just come in and basically say that you want to actually be issued credit. They all call it something different. But under payment details tab, which I used to be able to show, and it was awesome. Now they don't let you unless you register. Okay, but, and I'm already registered, so I don't want to go through that. So when you go through payment details, they give you an option of basically using their credit to be able to get approved. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Uline Quill Granger. We're going to put about $50 worth of stuff in our shopping cart. We're going to go to checkout. They're going to offer us an invoice, an option similar to Invoice Me. And then what we do is we check out. We never give them a credit card. They won't ask for our social. They won't even ask for our EIN. Remember, as I showed you, all somebody needs to look at your business credit report is your business name and the state that you're in. That's all they need. So they're going to ask for that, not even ask for your social or EIN. And one of two things is going to happen. They're one, going to send you an email stating that they shipped the item, or two, they're going to send you an email notifying you they can't yet qualify you for credit. Most of the time, they're just going to ship your item. When they do and you get that email, congratulations, you were just approved for trade credit. They will not be big celebration. They will not send you a credit card in the mail. They will not even tell you what your limit is unless you call and ask. If they ship your item, you were just issued trade credit. There won't be any kind of celebration about it, so just know if they shipped it, you're good. If they didn't, then still pay for the order, go back to Quill again and place a second order, and by the third order, they will approve you. There's two things unique about these kind of vendors. One, they do report to the business credit reporting agencies, one or all of these three, okay? Two, they will give you credit even as a startup when you have no prior credit established. But as Terry just said, Granger made Terry place more than one order. That sometimes happens. Granger wants to see maybe one account reporting typically before they'll approve you. Uline and Quill, if you're brand new as a startup, they may make you place 2 or even 3 orders, but they will approve you on either your first, your second, or your third order. When they've approved you, the next thing you must do, the minute they ship the item, pay the bill. Here's why. Your credit scores are based on how you pay. All you have to do to get a good score, all you have to do is pay the bill early or on time. Pay it promptly. The minute they let you pay it. Now, some places like Uline and Quill, as soon as you ship it, you can go online or call them and pay. Other sources like Staples or Sears, for example, let me see if I have Staples on here anywhere. They will actually require a little bit of time before you can pay. Meaning when Staples ships my item, they won't let me pay right away. Office Depot is the same way. Office Depot and Staples are approved through Citi. When they ship my items, they won't let me pay right away. So I put a reminder, and every 3 days I check to see if they'll let me pay. The minute they populate my statement, I pay. Uline and Quill, the minute they ship, they let you pay. You must let them ship first. It's not considered trade credit unless they ship your item. Credit is officially extended upon shipment of the item, or what they call the delivery of the product. They deliver it by shipping it. You have to let them ship, or it will not be considered credit. It will be considered cash. So as soon as these guys ship, they will let you pay. Ship, pay. That's what will get you the good score. You're going to need about 5 of these type of vendor accounts reporting in order to move on to the next step. And again, if this all makes sense, there's a couple things you could do. Text the word tips to this number. We give you tons of vendors and all different kind of stuff. We only send you one training tip every week. That's a 2 to 5 minute training tip if you text the word tips to 855-982-1820. And also, we have all this mapped out at creditsuite.com/Facebook. And I'm not done because we've got a lot of steps to go. I do want to give you one more resource that you're going to love. If you go to Facebook and you type in Get Business Credit, then you're going to find our business credit group. And in our business credit group, guys, Everybody is helping each other build business credit in this group. There's all kinds of engagements, there's questions, there's all kinds of approvals. That's actually me, I think, going live right now. There's all kinds of approvals. People are telling you what they got approved for, how they did it, etc. So this way you can look here. Okay, here we go. Here's the actual approval. Somebody just got approved for $6,250. Guys, this group, Get Business Credit Group, has all these kind of approvals. Look at this. This is somebody else that just got approved for $6,300. They share what they're getting approved for and how much they're getting approved. Look at how much engagement is in this group. In the last 28 days, there's been over 19,000 post comments and reactions. So guys, get to this group. In this group, you can work with a lot of other people that will help you build business credit because they're actually coming in, and which is kind of weird. This is real in real time. Okay, kind of weird. All right, and so they help you by giving you actual approvals, showing you what they're doing. So you can get plenty of other sources using either this Dex number, using the guide, or using the Facebook group. So we've got 5 of these accounts. This you can get immediately. Once you're set up credible, and once you've come in and made sure that there's nothing reporting, you can get these even without the DUNS number. You can get several, more than enough trade lines even without the DUNS number. Hello from California. Welcome. Thanks for coming in. So do you follow the bullet points for these companies? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking, but if you give me a better idea of that question, I can answer it. We set up the business credible. We went ahead and did a free search to see what's on our credit reports. We got our free DUNS. We got 5 vendor accounts. We put stuff in our shopping cart, $50 or more. We checked out. They shipped. We paid the bill. Within 30 to 90 days, they report to the reporting agencies. Each credit issuer has a different time frame of when they actually report. So I can find 2 more vendors there in the group. You can find more vendors on our guide at creditsuite.com/Facebook. We deliver those through text training tips. And you can also see all kinds of people talking about vendor accounts here in the group. You can see just in the last few posts, here's somebody that got a vendor account from Office Depot, Staples. So there's all kinds of posts here where you can see people that are getting actual results there. Okay, so places like Quill can take 90 days to report your first account. Places like Uline take 30. So the time frame of how long it takes them to report on your business credit reports determines how long you're going to have the 5 accounts. If you get more than 5 vendors, then a lot of them will report within 1 to 2 months, 30 to 60 days. Then we're moving on to store credit. Most major retailers offer EIN business credit. Staples, Home Depot, Costco, Chevron, Sprint, Apple, IKEA. You've got to leave your Social Security number off the application. If you ever provide this, they will do a personal credit check. There will be a personal guarantee. If you don't want a personal credit check or guarantee, you have to leave the Social Security number off the application. Guys, never, ever, ever enter anything in a Social Security number field other than a Social Security number. It's fraud. I'm not an attorney. You can look it up online. It's clearly fraud. But you can leave this blank and apply. Now, some sources, like Staples and Office Depot, their online applications won't let you proceed unless you enter it. So call them to apply or download and fax their application and leave it blank. Those are options where you don't need to do this. Sources like Amazon will give you 2 options. One without a personal guarantee with. The one without the personal guarantee, they won't even ask for it. Uline, Quill, they won't even ask for it. But those that do, leave it blank, even if you have to fax the application in or call. And Sharita says for trade companies. So let me go back and see. I'm not exactly. So do you follow the bullet points for these companies? I still don't understand. I'm sorry. And I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, what your question is. So if you could, again, ask me one more way, I could tell you. I'm not sure what bullet points you're referencing, I think is my disconnect. So leave your Social Security number off the application to avoid the personal guarantee and the consumer credit check. Once we have 5 more of these kind of accounts, a total of 10 to 14, then you move to the final step of business credit. Now, before we jump there, let's look at some of these real approvals. So here are some real approvals. Office Depot, $15,000. Amazon, we get a lot of approvals from Amazon as high as 35,000. Sears 15. Best Buy, Dell 40,000. So you start to get these kind of approvals here with about 5 accounts reporting. You can start to walk in and get $5,000, $10,000 and growing limit accounts at most major stores. Once we have 10 accounts, then we move to the final step. We start getting fleet credit and cash credit. Okay. Oh, let me take a step back. I'm going to go back here. There is a way to expedite this. If you don't want to start building business credit using trade vendors, there is one other shortcut. But this requires good credit. You need about a 680 FICO to get it. If you have a 680 FICO or a guarantor that has a 680 FICO, you can get up to $150,000 in unsecured credit lines that report to the business credit reporting agencies with 0% rates for 6 to 18 months. So what that means is it means that you can actually get credit lines to get the cash out at 0%. They're basically giving you 5 to 8 credit cards that report to the business credit reporting agencies. And you can get it even as a startup. So 2 options. This requires good credit. 680 score from you or guarantor, but you can get 50, 60, 70, 80, 100,000 plus with this, even as a startup. Get 5 to 8 accounts on your business credit reports without using vendor, and this credit reports within about 30 days to the business credit reporting agency. Great option to go, but that requires good credit. And if that makes sense and you have questions, feel free to give us a call at 877-600-2487. This requires 680 FICO. Vendors don't. Both get you to step 4 the same way. You need 5 accounts to get to step 4. You can get them using vendors. You can get them using unsecured credit lines. The difference is this requires good credit. This doesn't. So I'm giving you options either way that will both get you to step 4. Oh, people like that. I got some likes. Finally, here we go. Took all this time to give me some likes, but we finally got it. Okay, all the info on these boards. So look, guys, this info, if you want the info, then what you can do is you can grab our free guide and go to our website. Just go to creditsuite.com. If you go to creditsuite.com on our social media channels here, okay, thank you guys. You're going crazy on the loves. We have our own podcast. We post daily on Instagram and Twitter. Okay, and we have over 300 videos on our YouTube channel, as well as we post regularly on our Facebook. And again, don't forget the business credit group. So all this information is kind of compiled all of there, other than just these bullets. This is just kind of breaking it down. So hopefully that makes sense. All the information can be downloadable copy. Yes, this is the downloadable copy. CreditSuite.com/Facebook breaks down these same steps. It breaks down the information I'm actually giving you. If you're on your mobile phone, screenshots help. Screenshots. So she's taking screenshots of this. But remember, guys, you don't even need to. Go to CreditSuite.com/Facebook. It's a free guide that maps out these exact same steps. So we came in, set up the credibility. Got set up with Dun & Bradstreet. Did our free search at CreditSuite.com/reports. Got our free DUNS number at CreditSuite.com/DUNS. We established 5 accounts, either using vendors that have no personal guarantee and no personal credit check like Uline, Quill, Granger, or we used our good credit to get 5 to 8 credit lines that are unsecured that also report to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. And again, if you want to learn more about these, we've got a bunch of finance sources we can recommend you to that do them. You can give us a call right here at 877-600-2487. By the way, we don't charge you a dime to get this program. The lenders will, the finance sources will. We'll talk to you more about that and answer any questions you have. So regardless of which path we chose, we got 5 accounts. We move on to store credit. What credit do you want? You want Staples, Home Depot, Apple, IKEA. It's all available. Now we move to the final step. With 10 to 15 accounts, we can get fleet credit. That's used for auto repairs, maintenance, and fuel. So here's some fleet credit. RGS fleet card for $40,000. Flying J is this is the difference. Here's my writing. Here's my whiteboard artist's writing. So Flying J is like a truck stop that has a bunch of different stuff you can buy. Fuel. Again, we see an RGS fleet, a Fuelman fleet. This is auto vehicle repairs. Again, we can also get financing. Here's an approval through Ford for $40,000 for a vehicle with no guarantee, no personal credit check. So we get to that point with 10 to 14 trades, meaning that some fleet approvals you'll start to get with 10 accounts. Some Visa, MasterCard, American Express accounts, you need about 14. So we can get fleet credit, auto vehicle repairs, maintenance. We can get Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express. We can get auto vehicle financing. The final step takes about 4 to 6 months to get to. We went from setting up a business credibly to getting initial credit to getting store credit in about 60 days to get to the very final goal, the very end, the Visa card, MasterCard, American Express in about 6 months. So here's some of those kind of real approvals. Chase Inc. for 20 grand, no PG, no personal credit check. Amex for 50, no PG, no credit check. PNC for 50. We just had somebody get approved with PNC for 100 with no personal guarantee, with no personal credit check. If you go to our Get Business Credit group, you'll see other people that have got $9,000 and $20,000 American Express cards with no personal guarantee and credit check. And it takes you about 6 months to get to the Amex, to get to the PNC, to get to the Chase. No guarantee and no credit check. So that's it. A lot of benefits here. Fast to build. Personal credit quality doesn't matter. You can get it as a startup. You don't need cash flow. It doesn't report on your consumer credit reports. We set up the business credibly. We got the EIN. We chose an LLC or a corporation. We got our domain, our email address, licensing. We got a physical or a virtual address. We know that if we use a home address, it will restrict some sources that won't approve us, like Walmart. And a P.O. box and a UPS address we know are no-goes. Do not do that. We get a toll-free number. We list it with 411. We get a fax number. Then, boom, we move here. We do a free search at creditsuite.com/reports to see if anything's reporting on our credit reports now. We get our free DUNS number at creditsuite.com/DUNS. Now we move to start getting credit. We do it 2 ways. One, we use sources like Uline, Quill, and Granger to place 1 to 3 orders where they'll approve us without actually having to come in and provide a personal credit check or guarantee. Or we use our good credit, our 680 FICO score, to get 5 to 8 credit lines that report to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. Even as a startup, we're able to get up to 150 grand, and we shortcut the process there. And any of this, if you guys have questions, let us know. You're going to have questions along the way. So working with us, we just take years of this process and condense it to months, because you're going to probably get stuck. But again, we can also help you with all aspects of getting financing. Once we have 5 accounts, we then move on to store credit, Chevron, Staples, Sprint, Apple, IKEA, Home Depot, etc. With a total of 10, we move on to fleet credit, auto vehicle repairs, maintenance, fuel. And with about 14 accounts, we move to Visa, American Express, MasterCard, and auto vehicle financing, such as PNC approvals for 100 grand, Chase for 20, Flying J for 50, Amex for 50, PNC for 50, Ford for 40, and that is the whole process. Make sense? Let's give you a couple resources. CreditSuite.com/Facebook, free guide that maps out in more detail what I just told you that you even see here. You can also get text training tips. We text 1 tip through text. You only get these if you text the word tips to this number. It's only available through text training tips. We don't give this information any other place except for by text once here. Text the word tips to 855-982-182. I'm telling you this because we don't blow you up and start sending you texts every day. It's not how we roll. We send you 1 text tip a week at that number. And feel free to give us a ring as well. Okay, we've got a software that makes this whole thing. And again, you're working with us through the process. So we take what usually takes people years to do, and we just condense it down into only months. And I'll kind of show you that real quick. So somebody asks about the business credit group, and I'm going to show you that right now. I'll show you the business credit group that you can go into, and you can get help building business credit. Here it is. It's called Get Business Credit. Right here's the group, and again, you'll see all these kind of actual posts. These are pretty recent. You see, this is 23 hours. Here's somebody else that's actually putting their approval. Okay, here's somebody else sharing their approval. So they share the approvals, and there's lots of comments and engagement here about how they actually got those. So all different kind of things. And again, if you're interested in working with us, let us know too, because we've just got a simple business credit building process. It just expedites things. What we do is we break it down into these 7 steps, and we help you access all different kind of credit. So for example, there's a lot of vendors you're just not going to know about, but we have so many different kind of vendors. These are all vendors just to start building business credit. And then we make it really easy to just step-by-step tier exactly what you need. And that way you can actually come in and get access to every different kind of credit you could possibly think. 7-Eleven and Ryder, and these are all brand new accounts. We just added those 9, Meijer, Amazon. And what's nice is we gray out what you can't qualify. We color what you can. And then we actually list the underwriting guidelines for every single source, including who they report to. So it just simplifies the whole process. It makes it easy for you to build business credit because we give you the exact underwriting requirements. You can apply right from here, and you're working with our advising team through the process as well. So again, it just makes it simple, and you get access to more credit than you're probably ever even going to know what to do with. So I'm going to answer any other questions that you have before I actually wrap up here. And somebody says, yeah, Jerome, it is a great group, and thanks for your participation. Carly says, once you say 14 accounts are ready to apply for Amex Chase, do you call or online application? You can do any of them. You can call or you can go online. And again, I can scroll through this because the sources don't matter, guys. The underwriting approval requirements matter. But you can see here all the credit that's available to you using business credit. So there's just endless of the type of credit you can actually apply for. There's even a lot of credit out there that you'll rarely hear about because it doesn't even report, but it's credit you can get without a personal credit check and without a personal guarantee. We call these non-reporting trades. So I just want to do this to show you a little bit about our technology, but also so you can see the kind of credit that's actually available to you as you're building business credit for different kind of loans. You can get cell phones, you can get funding, you can get all different kinds of things as well. Erica says, I'm having a hard time getting approved for round 2 accounts because I haven't been in business over a year. You don't need to be in business over a year. A lot of sources, like if you go to Home Depot or go to Staples or Office Depot, they're both underwritten by Citi, and they'll both tell you that you need to be in business 1 year or 3 years or 1 million in business, but you don't have to be. Getting approved has nothing to do in time in business, although credit issuers try to convince you it does. It has to do with number of trade lines. So if you're saying, I'm not able to get to the next tier because I don't have enough time in business, no, you don't have enough trade lines. When you establish more trade lines, the sources that have denied you will approve you. What happens is you don't have enough trade lines to get approved for each source. Here, I'll show you. When we build business credit for our clients, what happens is we tier it, and we tier it because how the tiers are based on how many accounts you have reporting. So for example, if you want to get Ally car financing, we're telling you you cannot get it unless you have 14 trades. So it's not based on time in business, it's based on number of trades. And that's why knowing every individual source and how many trades you need to get them is what slows people down in building business credit. And what you're describing is very common. People get stuck. They spend years building business credit because they apply and get denied and they don't know why. I'll tell you why. Because in order to really be successful building business credit, you have to know how many accounts you need in the underwriting guidelines for every individual source you're applying for. If you don't know this, then it's trial and error. You have to apply, you get denied, you apply somewhere else, you get denied, you apply, you get approved. Then as you get more approvals, you go back to those, you get denied, and you reapply. Again, guys, there's 2 ways you can do anything. If you're working with us, you don't have those problems because we map it out tier by tier. We tell you how many accounts you need to get each source. So you rocket through the process and are at the end in less than 6 months. The same process, even following our guides, you're going to take 18 to 24 months because as you get to sources to apply, you don't know exactly how many trades that source will require. And that's what oftentimes leads to those denials and cost 18, 24 months of time to build. Also keep in mind, not here to self-promote, but if you are working with us, we're giving you credit monitoring for $24 a month through Dun & Bradstreet and Experian. They charge you $210 a month for that. So credit monitoring alone, we save you $2,500. You don't have to pay for your 411. We do. We get your DUNS number and profile activated without paying D&B a dime. You can get valuations on your business for free. So it's actually cheaper to work with us and do it on your own because we give you so many discounts and things. So just consider that. take the guide, go through the process and do it on your own. Just know it's going to be slower because of these hiccups you're experiencing. And if you want the faster process, then give us a call, give us a ring. We'll work with you on all different kind of affordability payments, and we can help you cut about 1 year to 2 years off the time, which just helps you get money faster. What you can do with that and how much 50, 100,000 means to you now versus a year from now, that's you, but we can't help you get those results faster for that reason. How many do I need for Lowe's, Amazon? Those are the ones who denied me. I only have 3 trade lines. To be honest with you, I'm not sure how many you need Lowe's and Amazon. I don't memorize them because it's right here in our system. So for Lowe's, for example, you're going to probably need 10 accounts to get it with no PG. So if you don't have 10 accounts, that's exactly for Lowe's, for example, why you're getting denied. Amazon's the same way. So Lowe's and Amazon need 10 accounts reporting before you can get them. And again, guys, this is a perfect example. When you don't know, you apply, get denied, get denied, get denied. In our system, it's impossible to, because we tell you how many trades they need. We're giving you color, so we're telling you that you can get it. And then you could even come in here to get more specifics. Here's what you have to have with it to get with no PG. If you don't have the 3 years, then we're giving you instructions of what you need to do to get approved without the PG. Okay, so here you go, and we're talking about it. Less than 3 years requires a guarantor. Okay, unless a good D&B or experience. So we're telling you how to get around the PG. They'll tell you 3 years, and we're telling you in less than 3 years of business you can get it, but you need to have these reports established. You need to call. Here's how you do it. So again, guys, that's just the way that it is. Again, take our free training, do it. It just takes a little bit longer. When you're working with us, it's just faster because we tell you exactly why. So you don't know why you get denied. We're telling you exactly how many trades you need. We're telling you, hey, if you go to them online, they're going to deny you unless you've been in business 3 years. Here's how to do it. You want no PG. You got to have this many trades with D&B, this many to experience. You got to call this number. If you call this number and tell them this, we're even telling you, just keep hitting the 0 button until then it just helps expedite the process. So if all this makes sense, guys, 2 things to do. Go and grab the free guide that maps this out. CreditSuite.com/Facebook. Maps out everything we talked about today. If all this, you like this, we do weekly text training tips, 1 tip a week by texting the word tips to 855-982-1820. And again, we can easily expedite this process for you, and it's cheaper to work with us than even trying to do it on your own because 411's including done setup is there. Credit monitoring is only $24 versus $210. So feel free to give us a ring and let us know what we can do to help. Up, but about an hour. I'm tired. I'm hungry. Want some lunch. But remember, every Thursday almost, we go live here on Facebook. I will see you next Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern, where we're talking about all different kind of topics, including how to get financing, okay, how your credit scores work. We talk about things like DBAs, doing business as, what you need to know, bootstrapping your business, why. There's all these different kind of financing options we talk about. We talk about things like online lenders and all the different kind of lenders that are out there, their exact underwriting requirements, the interest rates, the terms that they pay. This is the kind of stuff that we go over every Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern here on Facebook. So like us on Facebook and join our Get Business Credit group, and you'll get notified when we go live so you can come in and join the fun. Okay, and then Mary says, do the first 5 vendors need to report to D&B only? No. They need to report across all 3 bureaus, D&B, Equifax, and or Experian. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I'll see you next Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern here on Facebook. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.